YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, hello.
Hey guys. Hi.
Hope y'all are doing well. Make sure I'm actually live here.
Oh, that's
The age-old problem.
check.
Yeah, we are. You love to see it. All right. I want to actually start with our first topic that's listed on the show notes, and then I'll actually we'll go through our somber moment, and then I'll hit the intro. So it'll be like we'll start like sad.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you guys are all ready, I'll hit record and we can start.
I'm ready.
Check. Oop, 1 sec.
Hold on,
There we
Aaron.
go.
Wait 1 sec.
Okay, I'm in.
AC fan off. 1 sec.
Check. Perfect.
All right.
All good now.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. A somber beginning, because if you listen to episode 1, you all heard where Jonny was going. He was going to the Cincinnati Reds, and the three of us, we were hopeful. We were thinking, surely Jonny is not cursed. It's just the Reds being bad. They'll play the worst team in baseball, maybe the worst team ever in baseball. They'll win, and we can just kind of have a laugh about this whole curse thing.
This is Ohio State scheduling Kent State. This was supposed to be Johnny's Alabama playing
Mercer.
Belmont or whoever they play.
Yep.
Mercer, thank you.
Yep.
Jonny, how did it happen?
I have nothing to say for myself. It hurt. It hurt badly. I would say it was unbelievable, but it was, in hindsight, it was completely
Unfortunately, one of the
Believable.
more believable things this year.
one of the more believable things. As the game progressed, of course, start off solo shot, Reds up 1-0, and I'm like, cool. All right, very nice. We're gonna be all right. Gonna be all right today. And then we even got out of a few situations with, the Rockies leaving men on board even at third base, and I'm like, cool. We avoided the bad part here. Then we got a 2-run shot by the Rockies. Reds tie it up, though. You're thinking, oh, all right, offense struggling mightily. Ellie got walked 3 times, intentionally. I mean, we're screaming coward at the Rockies bench, but clearly they're doing the right thing because it worked out all 3 times. It just tragic. I mean, losing on a wild pitch when the bases are loaded and it's a 2-2 count, and then striking out the batter after they scored the game-winning run. It just terrible. I hate them and they hate me. So we're at least on the same page now.
Well, and if you missed it on social media, officially, Fifth and Goal Sports / Jonny himself has imposed a indefinite ban of Jonny attending Great American Ballpark. So that's in effect. Now, we did raise a question this week, Jonny. Are you cursed? Have you cursed the Reds, or have you just cursed the ballpark? And the only way to know is to go to a road game, and that's how we'll determine if it's the Reds as a whole or just their home ballpark. That's really all that's left here, Josh, because otherwise, he's cursed. We've got to, for the sake of the Reds, we've got to keep him away from the stadium, and I don't know if there's anything much more we can do after that.
So I have.
Did you guys say my actual record?
Oh no, go ahead.
No.
We didn't dare utter that.
You tell them.
Yeah. So
We may have to censor this.
I
by
went
the way.
back. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
violent language.
Yes.
So I went back at
down.
all of my ticket stubs, as you do it from childhood, you keep your ticket stubs. And then I even went back through my emails and everything to find all of the tickets that I'd ever purchased from the Reds. And my overall record when attending a Reds game, because you're probably like, oh, Jonny, you're like overreacting. And you know what? I thought so too at first, until I did my research. And my research showed 6-30 is my record. Teams love to see me coming into Great American Ballpark. Love to see me coming. 6-30 extra innings. Of them 16 innings, mind you. It's absolutely incredible. I can't explain it. It's inexplicable. I'd love to know the run margin. Maybe we can get stats and info on that. Because I've been to many a game of the Cardinals or Brewers just throttling the Reds. But then I've also been to many a game like this year where the Reds blow a grand slam lead in the bottom of the ninth to the Giants to lose. And the Rockies. Maybe I just know more NL West games this year. Anyway.
I might have to start getting real specific and see if there's any one division that's more cursed.
Well, I mean, the Reds are like 1-6 against the Brewers when I show up, but that's not me. They're just 1-6 against the Brewers normally. Like, that's not anything.
Yep.
So, at this point, Jonny, I don't know if I have enough data. Here's the thing.
I need to go to PNC Park against the terrible Pirates, given the Reds have a losing record when they play the Pirates and I show up too. It doesn't matter the team, guys. They have a losing record when I show up. But we need to go to PNC
it's hard.
Park.
We got to take you to...
Because the Pirates are also terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's not really hard. I'm like, I'll get to get down to the Texans, or the Rangers, but it's also not going to be... We need you... Or hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, we need to get you to a Blue Jays game in Toronto.
They're good though.
No, they're good.
This is why we're testing it. This is why we're testing it.
Okay.
We have to. So we are on Curse Watch.
Want it to continue.
Welcome to Jonny Curse Watch 2025.
I'm closer to Toronto right now.
That's the thing. You're scary close to Toronto right now.
But I don't want to backtrack. And that's backtracking now. I don't want to do that.
You have gone much further north than most even Canadians go, but don't tell them that. We have to. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to, let's just say, dealing
you need to explain
with Jonny's
how
curse.
to get rid of this. Yeah,
because I have curses are inherently spiritual, supernatural in nature. I wouldn't look at, like, I don't know, I'm not going to look at like a car brands like Nissan right now, who has been failing in reliability scores for decades, whose cars just brake reliably at 60,000 miles because of their stupid CVT transmission. And they're like increasing liquidation of like all of their buildings and kind of go, oh, that company's cursed. There's clear steps they made decades ago that are finally coming to fruition. Jonny just loving the game of baseball, loving attending games, and yet can't even break 500. Can't even break, what is that, 250?
Yeah, can't break 200 right now.
Can't break 200. He doesn't.
May I also say?
Yeah.
For reference, everybody's like, "Wow, like, are you just awful for every team you go to?" Like, no, that's the worst part. The worst part is like even the awful Blue Jackets are 5-3 when I go. Like,
it's not bad.
Ohio State basketball is 8-1. OSU football's 14-1. Like,
yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, that's maybe not fair. Okay, more closer, I guess, to baseball would be like MLS. The Crew are 10-4-3 when I show up, and like, so I can't explain.
I wonder
why.
Okay, so you've been, and this is the other side I'm on, because I do enjoy having completed my degree, I am already bored and want to get back into research. I need more data from you, Johnny. And I'm trying to find ties. I'm wondering if it's distance. What's your record with the Cavs?
2-1. I haven't gotten
so
to
not
go to
enough
a lot of
data.
Cavs
We got to
games.
take you to more games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there because I'm wondering if there's a proximity to like the center of Columbus or something. What
But
are you with
Cincinnati's
the
closer
Clippers?
than Cleveland. Cincinnati's closer. And I
Yeah,
even went
so-
and watched the Bengals play the Browns in Cleveland, and the Bengals won. But in fairness, it's the
your
Browns,
Bengals.
so that's not
Yeah,
even
it's the
like
Browns. Yeah, do you have a
that's
Bengals
not even
record? Maybe you said that
2-1.
already.
Again, it's
Okay,
not
so again, just not enough.
not enough data.
So this is expensive, but we need to get you to like at least 50 games. And we need to establish what your actual record is for all of these sports. This is multi-year process because we
For
can't
the
take you
ones
to
that I haven't
50.
gone to a lot of games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can find a
So
sliding
more
scale.
Blue Jackets games,
So basically more Blue Jackets games,
more Cavs,
a few more
more
Cavs
Bengals.
games, more Bengals games. And just as a control would take you to more Ohio State games.
Well, I mean, it's going to keep going well.
Yeah. I have an alternative theory.
Okay, perfect.
I think that we need to take full advantage of Johnny's curse because it's established now. There's no getting around it. It's a thing. How we break it, I don't know. I think we have to take full advantage and maybe monetize it as best as we can. We take Johnny to not one game of the Reds, even though he's got an imposed suspension. We take him to every Reds game, home and away, because if he is cursed, not just Great American Ballpark, but the Reds as a whole. Like if let's see, what do you extrapolate out 6-30 to be? I mean, that's like roughly like 30-1. I mean, it would easily be the worst season of all time. So not only do you bet against the Reds the entire way, make loads of money, but the team will be so historically terrible, and everyone in the city will be searching for answers that we say, hey, here he is, got him. I think that's how we end the curse. The city of Cincinnati just murders Johnny when they find out that he's the reason why the Reds have just gone 3 and probably a sacrifice. That is the typical way to break a curse. Probably a sacrifice.
you had me in the first half.
Ohio.
And you had me like the Falcons thought they had the Patriots. Up until like literally the second half of the fourth quarter. I'm right with you.
Yep.
And then we moved right into sacrifice.
Yeah, it happened quick.
He's going to sacrifice me on a barge in in the middle of the Ohio River.
We're gonna set the barge on fire with you on it, put you on a pike, and we will have to. You know what needs to happen? The Cuyahoga needs to burn again. That's what's happening.
Probably
Either that or the Ohio, or maybe the Ohio
River needs to burn. Yeah.
The Ohio River
I'm
needs to
starting
burn.
to think that
It's
the
not
Reds
polluted
are my
enough.
sacrificial lamb as a team.
Oh, you have
Because the Crew are excellent. Like
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State football, excellent. Ohio State basketball has been rough recently, but in my childhood, we had a lot of really good moments and years. So I can't that would be recency bias to say like Ohio State basketball has always been terrible for me. That's not remotely true. Like the Blue Jackets have not been good, but I would actually say the Blue Jackets have even been more successful and had like better outcomes than the Reds in my lifetime. Maybe that's not accurate, but they're close. But I would say like the Blue Jackets beating the Lightning is better than anything the Reds have done in my lifetime.
True.
Yeah, truly.
So, and the Bengals have at least made it to a Super Bowl. Cavs have won a title. So maybe the sacrificial lamb of all my teams is the Cincinnati Reds, and I just need to allow it for the good of all.
I agree with that, Johnny.
So I'm glad, Johnny, or Aaron, I'm glad you did remind us that this is a curse, and curses need to be expunged. They need to be extricated. So I did go to r/witch, and I am currently on
Reddit. Those who do not know, that means going to the Reddit page.
Yeah. Am I cursed? How do I remove a curse? What do I do if I think I'm cursed? What is cleansing and how do I do it? This is from a mod. Thank you, the real Stabatha. Grow up. Whose flair is traditional witchcraft. That's what this mod specializes in. So we can at least start here with traditional witchcraft remedies. Smoke cleansing. Don't use sage because it clears out everything, including things you might want to keep. Also, supernature abhors a vacuum, so gross energy might still creep back in afterwards. So let's not sage, but anything else. So maybe any incense you like. I think a piece of cardboard, or maybe a jersey from a player who's betrayed you.
Maybe the Reds need to burn Johnny's jersey. Reverse.
Oh, burn an effigy of Johnny.
I'm trying to think.
Just
What
you go
You know what they should have done
center
on firework
field.
night? Johnny, you know what they should have done on fireworks night? Made like a voodoo
Shot
doll
me
of you
out of a
and
rocket.
shot you right out of. They got a really big t-shirt cannon. Ooh, bells. Ooh, spiritual soaps. Replace your regular bar of soap. What's your normal brands, Johnny? Let's get real into the details.
I don't use bar soap.
Okay, that's fine. You use one of those like 25 and
Bar
1
soap's
things,
not
don't you?
7-in-1, Josh. You should know this.
I know, but some people use it for their hair as well. So
Oh. Wait, really?
They do?
What?
yeah.
Animals.
Oh, my.
Hey, it's the bars pound for pound are so much cheaper. And so if you're just trying to go one thing to hit everybody, like hit all the things you need to clean, get you a little bit of Irish Spring. That's the way to go, Johnny.
Wow.
What are you fancy with your Suave 3-in-1? No. You're of not
How
hits.
dare you, sir? I can be far more optimal than 3-in-1.
Oh, my.
Anyway, get rid of your 3-in-1 and get a 4-in-1. That also removes curses. That's the fourth.
Oh, that's good.
Josh, I'll buy some sage.
I just said
Light some
don't use sage because it gets rid of everything, including the
Light some
things.
incense candles.
Gross energy might still creep back in.
Are there
after we
essential
talked about-
oils that help heal curses?
Let's see here. Listen to the quality of the tone of the bell. No, so that's crystals,
Somebody sells it.
Yeah.
black tourmaline, and selenite. Black tourmaline absorbs and destroys negativity, and selenite.
This isn't a negativity. Actually, I'm far too positive about the Reds until this point. This was my breaking point. So
So the
we're done
negativity is the
now.
losses. It's not like we have negative. It's not like you have
okay.
negative
I was going to say,
feelings.
I actually have not been negative about the Reds overall.
The negativity in this context is in fact the 6-30 record you have.
Now,
We-
Johnny,
we can-
importantly,
we can end
someone
it-
in
go
chat
ahead.
says maybe it's your dad because he typically goes with you.
You see, but now I went to the first game this summer, lost after they hit the grand slam
Right.
to go up, and literally Giants hit back-to-back solo shots.
So that was by
go into
yourself.
extras, and then they won.
Yeah.
That was by myself. I went when we were in school. Aaron, do you remember going to this one with
Oh,
all
yes.
the sports management
Yep.
students?
Oh,
And we
yes.
watched the Reds, I think, walk 6 Cardinals batters in a row.
Yep.
That's the most walks I've ever seen in a row. And I think the Reds lost something ungodly, like 18-2 or something. So I understand. I appreciate the comment in the chat. Thank you for checking. But I have gone to many a Reds games without my dad, and we have still lost. And actually, in fairness to my dad, he's been there probably for 4 of the 6 wins. So actually, my dad probably helps
Might
increase
help.
the odds.
He might be
positively.
incredible by himself.
Johnny,
Yeah,
you bring
actually,
up another
if
good
my dad
point.
went without me, he might be fine.
Yep.
I gave up on r/witch and I went over to Quora, which I am apparently increasingly doing. One thing that we forgot to mention.
Is that the
Is
season
that-
4 thing? We have to look up something on Quora.
I'm looking up on Quora. I've done it twice, so now it's a bit.
Yep.
Sorry, chess heads. Move over for Josh looks at Quora. How do you remove a curse if you don't know who did it? and this
well, we know who did
R.
it.
Herbert. Say what?
Me. We know
No.
who
So
did it.
you have been cursed. That's the passive there.
I could
You
be
have been-
cursed.
You could be. So
I could
the
be
idea
cursing
is
them.
it didn't originate with you. Curses come from somewhere, I think. At least that's what happens in Dungeons and Dragons. So at least in 5e, it's not like I can remove curses as one of my like actions as a warlock. So I'm going from my personal knowledge in this topic now. And
Don't mind the boat horns outside my window, by the way, if you hear them.
oh, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna go on the lake later. Come on. We're trying to help you remove curses, all right? So go talk about your
I'm going to
yachting
try to
later.
cleanse myself in Lake Huron. We're going to try every body
worth
of
a try.
water I
Okay,
can.
so and this is a perfect spot. Go get a small hand mirror, create space alone, and make sure pets aren't in the room, and that includes bugs, very specifically.
Okay.
So get a mirror, tell it exactly what the curse has done to you, and explain that you want it sent back to the one who originally gave it to you. All right, Uno reverse card with a mirror.
Who gave it to me? The Reds?
It just
Great
says,
American
"Say I return
Ballpark?
the curse back to the one who sent it to
The
me."
owners, I think.
The curse of
I'm
Castellini.
assuming
Shoeless
it's
Joe
the owners.
Jackson, the
Yeah.
Castellinis, Pete Rose's gambling addiction. R.I.P. Pete Rose.
The people who keep up until this most recent year. So this is a really bold statement I'm about to make. It could be the people who have been blocking Pete Rose up until this most recent year. And once he officially gets into the Hall of Fame, this is what we were talking about last week. This could potentially still be the a descendant of, Stanley Yelnats bringing up a descendant of Madame Zeroni up the hill.
So I need to
give
find
Pete
my
Rose,
Madame Cerrone.
yes, find your zero after digging so many holes. Actually, in the book, doesn't he dig like 2? Does he even get through his second hole?
No, he goes through, I think, several. I think it kind of fast forwards.
Oh, does he
even
kind
in
of
the
just?
book.
Okay.
Yeah. We can end it on this. If you're a Reds fan, do not be concerned, because if they make the playoffs, my promise to you is I will leave the state. I will leave the state. And I don't mean even like Kentucky or Indiana, because that's too close to the tri-state area.
I have
like
a balcony he can sleep on.
Pennsylvania, Michigan, or I fly to Texas to see Josh. Like I will expunge my presence from the Reds territory. I guess wherever TV rights, which this is stupid for baseball, but wherever TV rights are for the Cincinnati Reds, I will not be present. The Reds did beat the Rockies the next 2 days. Even on Saturday,
Barely.
I was with Aaron and started watching that game, and I realized, wait, I need to not watch. And as soon as I turned away, they hit a walk-off hit to win said game. So I don't know if it actually works that way when I'm not present at the game, but, we'll end it that way. Do not worry. I will leave if they make the playoffs.
Thank you,
Okay,
Johnny.
you have to go as far south. I have this is as of 2024. Sporting News has a blackout map. So given the color scheme.
Yeah, you have to be far enough south that you can actually watch the game not blacked out, but choose not to.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so like Tennessee.
Yeah,
Somewhere in
Tennessee.
Tennessee, probably.
Tennessee
Okay.
looks like the southern part of Missouri, most of Illinois.
Oh.
You don't have to go that far.
But you should.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I will.
But
I'll
you
go
should.
to the Ozarks.
You don't have to, but you should.
I'll go to the Ozarks.
All
I'll
right,
be chilling on a boat in the Mississippi.
If you go to Texas, all Texas has as far as blackout is right now just Dodgers and oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong color. Texas and Louisiana just have Rangers, Astros.
Makes
That's
sense.
it. Everybody else tends to have one or another. So if you want,
Texas
down
it
here.
is. All
I
right,
can
and
I
now
can get you the Globe Life, and you can see what y'all can see what a World Series trophy looks like.
Oh, okay.
We have one now.
All right, if you thought that was the show, nope, here's the actual show.
Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, Here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Hey,
Do you remember in
we're here.
when they delayed the was it Thunderbolts? I also just saw Superman. They may have done this with Superman too, where they just delayed the title for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we did here.
That's what we did here.
Yep. Because what we had
did
for you was
exactly the
so
same thing
good
that
that
James
we
Gunn
had
did.
to
Yeah.
we had to draw it out. Hey, if you were here in episode 1, you know what's coming this week, and you might know what's coming the next few weeks because, as we explained, we are counting down the college football season by breaking down different conferences, or as our friend Josh Pate likes to say correctly, confri, the plural of conference. So today we are talking about the ACC. Of course, Josh is famously in ACC country right this second, living in Dallas, so we will probably talk a little SMU. But here's how we're going to break down each conference as we go through these previews each week. So again, talking through the ACC, we're going to give you some headlines. What are we looking forward to about the season for the ACC? What are we wondering about? What questions do we have? What are some things to watch? Then we'll move into some dark horse picks. These aren't necessarily the teams that we think are going to win the conference, but they're teams that maybe aren't the betting favorites that will at least compete well for a title, or they're good enough to spoil a season for one of the contenders. We'll see what that looks like. And then at the end, we will give you our conference champion for the ACC. So let's start with conference headlines. Guys, I'll go ahead and start. I think we all have some questions about the ACC. One that comes to mind is the ACC a one-bid league this year? Meaning, what are the chances the ACC only gets one team in the college football playoff? Now, before I go any further, I have officially shunned the college football playoff until November 1st. So that means that I'm not talking about the playoff. I'm not listening to what it has to say to me. So this is not me saying, "Oh man, what ACC team is going to get in the playoff? This is so exciting." No, it's more a question about, like, yes, that is the question I'm answering. For me, it's more of a question of how strong is this conference? Because this was almost a one-bid league last year. Clemson had to win the ACC to make the playoff. Otherwise, it was just going to be SMU. Is that what we're looking at again? Now, obviously, a lot of that depends on how the other conferences do. Like, does the Big 12 just totally cannibalize itself and only get one team in themselves? Which they did last year. So that's something I'm interested in. Is the ACC a one-bid league this year? I actually think there's a chance. I think it's more likely that they get multiple teams in the playoff. I think this will be a better conference than it was last year. For one, I think Florida State, hot take here, doesn't go 2-10 again. I think they're better. I'm not saying they're winning a championship. I think they're better. Miami, I don't think is going to fall back as far as some people think. I think you've got SMU still there. I think you've got an up-and-coming Georgia Tech team. I'm not going to spoil what we're talking about here in the next few minutes. So my initial take is no. I think they find a way to get more than one team in the playoff, solely based on the conference, the overall strength of the conference.
I mean, I totally agree. I think there's a lot more depth in the ACC this year. Like, Clemson disappointed in big games last year. And so that kind of just right off the bat for the ACC dug them a hole, like just automatically. And then, of course, Florida State preseason top 10, as Aaron said, like, we've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally never happened before. And so when we're like, oh, Florida State won't be 2-10, like, I would predict like 7-5. I'm not even expecting them to be like some great team. But again, that makes the conference more competitive, better. Like, I just think there's more depth in the tier 2 this year beyond Clemson, which means, and I think Clemson's just much, much better this year. So the question, whether if you're talking playoff, is just, do those teams cannibalize themselves, or does one of them kind of break away from the pack to separate themselves and make it them an easy selection for the college football playoff? Because remember, it is most likely that they're going up against a 3-loss SEC or Big Ten team probably in that selection process. So if they only have 1 or 2 losses, I actually think an ACC team stands a really good chance in that resume comparison, as they did last year with SMU, assuming that they don't have some horrendous loss.
Yeah, agreed.
Looking at the 2024 ACC schedule and just reminding myself of who.
You can't wait to watch Bill Belichick, can't you?
I cannot. Not in the least.
I mean, that's a headline just by itself. Not
Yeah.
even that ACC related per se. But
yeah, ACC felt like, and we talked about this last year, it felt like an anomaly. There's going to be a correction this year. In what ways, I don't know. I had an idea of what my dark horse team was, and then I'm looking back at the schedule and going, oh, I don't think I made the right choice. But
Josh, I'd argue your champion is your dark horse.
it
Not
has
to
to
spoil things, but
Yeah.
I think it's
that's
the
the only
same
reasonable.
team.
I think it really
It's
does
the
feel like
same
it.
team.
I'm not putting it as dark horse because of how they did last year,
sure.
but like
But betting
Betting-wise.
based on the odds this
Oh,
year,
absolutely.
I would argue it's easily fair for you to select them.
absolutely,
I'll allow it.
I'll pick.
Aaron,
I'm
will
gonna
you?
pick
I think
another
Aaron
team.
would second that.
Yep,
Yeah,
totally
I'll
agree.
pick another team.
I will
for
allow
fun.
it.
I'll pick one for fun. But yeah, let's say Clemson. I haven't checked Miami's off season to see what they did. Let's say, yeah, even if Florida State is not 1-7 in conference play, let's just assume
Mhm.
that there will be some sort of correction.
I
We're back to,
actually
like,
think
3
Miami will be
okay
better
teams.
this year.
I think I
Maybe
don't have
that's a hot
any.
take.
If their defense is better,
they
then yes.
replaced they replaced their defensive
Yeah.
coordinator. They went and got Minnesota's defensive coordinator. Am I saying Carson Beck is going to absolutely light the world on fire and there will be no drop off at the quarterback position? No, I'm not necessarily saying that. But Miami last year had to win every game 50-40.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they were up 21 points on Syracuse. And if they win that game, they're probably in the playoff. And they blew it because their defense was terrible. And it's not because that defense has no talent. I think that's the most frustrating part. Mario Cristobal is recruited very, very well. So if the new defensive coordinator with his scheme is able to simplify and make the defense just a top 25 defense, like not a top 10, just top 25. And if Carson Beck can just limit the drop off, at the quarterback position to keep the offense on schedule and on time, which he clearly should be able to do if he's healthy. Like, I think Miami's actually a much better team because they're far more well-rounded and able to win games in different ways.
Yeah.
Last year, they had to win by shootout. So I would not be shocked at all to see Miami looking really, really strong at the end of the season just because of those improvements. Because nobody has more talent in this league than Miami except Clemson on their roster. I don't. That's not a hot take. I think everybody would agree with that pretty much. So it's just a matter of if the coaching staff can maximize the production out of the rest of the roster. But Miami, in my opinion, really didn't lose a lot outside of the quarterback position. So I expect them to be very solid this year. They're not my dark horse team. It sounds like I'm saying they are. They're not. Yeah.
Well, you're right. 15 returning starters for Miami. Here's the other thing, too. Last year, we're watching this Miami team, and I think we even said this on the show. They kept winning miraculously by the skin of their teeth. They're 9-0, and all of us are sitting here saying, they're not that good. Like, this team has some serious flaws. It's almost frustrating that they're 9-0. Not because we hate Miami. Not at all, actually. I think Miami being good at football just kind of elevates college football as a whole. They are one of those programs. But they were 9-0, and you're right, when putting up 50 points every week because they had to. Then they finally lose to Georgia Tech. They finally lose at Syracuse at the end to really seal their own fate. But this year's going to be different. The reason is because they play Notre Dame week 1. That's on Sunday. They play South Florida, one of the better teams in the American. They host Florida. And then they get a bye week, and then they're at Florida State. We are going to know quickly what this team is made of. Notre Dame, Florida, Florida State, and South Florida, which, by the way, made Alabama's life absolutely miserable the last 2 years. Didn't win, but the Bulls played well. Should be good again this year. Those first 5 games. And then, to top it off, another bye week, and then Louisville. So the first six
brutal
games,
start.
Yeah.
Brutal.
If Miami makes it through those games, then good.
Even with one loss.
Yeah.
Like if they lose the opener to Notre Dame, again, loss, but were to win the rest of those games, they're in a great spot.
Yep. Likewise, though, Miami is not actually my dark horse pick. We can move into, well, real quick, I'll one other headline I'll mention. I kind of alluded to it. Notre Dame at Miami. LSU plays at Clemson week 1. Alabama at Florida State week 1. You've got a couple other interesting games in there. Georgia Tech at Colorado. TCU plays at North Carolina. Week 1 is a big deal for the ACC. I had talked at the beginning, is this a one-bid league? Week 1's going to go a long way in determining that, because not only could these teams be accumulating losses, they're accumulating these losses against the very teams in other conferences in which they are trying to compare themselves to. So week 1 is a big deal for the ACC. We'll see how it goes. But my dark horse pick is actually Louisville. This team has been really strong the last 2 years. I love what Brom is doing there, what Jeff Brom's doing in Louisville. Here's their losses from last year, and they had 4 of them. At Notre Dame, lost by a touchdown. SMU, lost by a touchdown. At Stanford, now it's a very, very bad loss, but lost by 3 points at Stanford. And mind you, that may have been some letdown effect when they beat Clemson in Clemson. And then they lost to Miami by a touchdown. 4 losses by 4 possessions, a total of 24 points. So they were right on the brink. I trust Jeff Brom with quarterbacks more than probably most coaches in college football. This year, he's got Miller Moss, a transfer from USC, had an up and down career, really, with the Trojans, but I think the potential's there. I mean, no disrespect to Tyler Shuck, but how many people expected Tyler Shuck to be a first-round pick at the beginning of last year? Virtually nobody. And he was plug and play in this offense. This is the 3rd year in a row in which Louisville is going to a veteran quarterback through the portal to run their offense. The defense has been strong. There are 17 returning starters on this team. The schedule's not horrible. They do have to travel to Miami, but they get Clemson at home. They travel to SMU at the end of the year. But it's a nice runway. Their September is Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green at Pittsburgh, and then even throwing in October, Virginia. This should be a 5-0 team with a bye week before they head to Miami on a Friday night. So I think Louisville's got a chance to really do some damage. They're going to have to pull a couple upsets if they want to actually get to a championship game. But I like the Cardinals a lot, and that's my dark horse team.
No, Louisville's a great dark horse team. Mine is the aforementioned Georgia Tech. I love Georgia Tech. I love what Brent Key's brought to them since he took over as head coach. I believe he's he took over partway through a year, so really kind of his 4th year here at Georgia Tech. So I love this team because Haynes King, their quarterback's coming back. I mean, seared into everyone's mind, the game last year was that Georgia loss, that insane overtime game that Haynes King just took body blow after body blow, but Georgia couldn't tackle the man. They had them on the ropes, though, just couldn't quite finish Georgia off. But that was because Georgia Tech has recruited and unleashed their NIL to the point where they are not the equivalent of Georgia, but they can withstand a Georgia front line now, which is actually remarkable. It's really amazing to see. As Aaron mentioned, they opened the season with Colorado. That's a brand new looking Colorado team. Still should have major troubles in the trenches. I don't care that it's in Boulder. Like, Georgia Tech should be able to dominate the line of scrimmage in that game. And I think that's just going to nullify any opportunity Colorado has to win that one. So that's their opener. Then they get Gardner-Webb right before they get Clemson at home. So much like Aaron said, with Miami, we will know early on Georgia Tech if they are a legitimate dark horse contender. If they're able to beat Colorado, they have to do that. I know that's not a conference game, but to really announce themselves, they have to beat Colorado. And then they don't have to beat Clemson, but you're at home. You have a really good opportunity and a good showing there. And then another reason to pick Georgia Tech is they avoid Miami and Louisville. So the other 2 teams there, and SMU, by the way, as well, that the team that brings ACC country to Josh. And then they get Georgia at the end of the season at home. So obviously that still won't be an easy game, but you get that one at home at least this year with a very hungry team that really is going to feel like they let it slip away last year. And it's a retooled Georgia team. So we're not 100% sure what Georgia's going to even look like this year. They won't be bad, but Georgia Tech could be right there with them this season. So I love Georgia Tech. Again, I'm not necessarily saying they make the playoff, but I think a 9-3 type of season for Georgia Tech is extremely attainable this season. So I love the Yellow Jackets and Brett Key, Haynes King this year. I think they're building and been building up to this season specifically. So I really like the Yellow Jackets this coming season. They would be my pick, one of my picks to make the ACC title game if I had to pick it today.
I like that. And Jamal Haynes, running back who nearly had 1,000 yards, is also back for Georgia Tech. So that's good. Josh, your conference champion might be a dark horse, but you've got another one listed, and I hope you're right.
Yeah, just for fun. I was going through teams, and again, just trying to go through off season. We're still way, way too early, even though it's only a few weeks out, relatively speaking.
Yep.
And Sports Illustrated had a here's how where'd it go? Yeah, I'm like, Sports Illustrated had here's how Virginia Tech can make the 2026 college football playoff. And I went, you know what?
2020. Are they saying like next year or this year?
This year.
Okay.
Like in calendar year 2026 for this 2025 season.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? Sure.
Was the first item
bud.
meteor?
Their first item is, they do say, exceed expectations. And I went, cool. Yeah, that's the idea. That's kind of the idea.
Coach Pry hopes you're right, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Virginia Tech
He's on the hot seat.
6-7 overall. Just a good old-fashioned 4-4 in conference play last year. Also avoids some of the big hitters. They're at Florida State, which is still an unknown. They host Miami the next week. Let's see here. At Georgia Tech, again, just like Jonny said, that's October 11th, whatever week that is. That's going to be a big week. Otherwise, they're opening at Beamer Ball. They avoid some of the scary. They also avoid SMU.
No Clemson on that list either.
They're losing a lot of players. I'm not gonna lie, they are losing.
You're going on a limb. 3, it's 4. Good.
Yeah.
Hey, they've got at least 2 of the top 9 tacklers are back, Josh. It's not totally empty.
That's right. They keep listing wide receivers that they're interested in. They have Aiden Green coming back, who had 19 catches, 268. It's fine. They had Kalen Adams, 1 catch for 14 yards.
Yeah.
See, but Josh, they could all pop.
I'm really excited about Take Heath. He was a 3-star coming in. He only saw 1 pass in 37 snaps last season, so they're still warming him up. There's hope.
Well, Josh, it is a little funny you bring up Virginia Tech, though, because Kyron Drones is back at quarterback. And last year at this time, Jonny and I sat down, and we were really high on Virginia Tech, mostly because he was at quarterback, and that was a disaster instantly. They lost at Vanderbilt in overtime, which at the time was like, uh-oh, warning flag, you lost to Vanderbilt. Now we know Vanderbilt, not that bad. And they do play Vanderbilt now at home this year. So I don't know, like that, Josh, if you are looking for a positive outside of, hey, here's this guy that has 1 catch for 14 yards, it's probably him. Like there's upside there. It just did not go well last year.
Well, and also they're bringing in Donovan Green from Wake Forest, who did pretty well at Wake Forest. What is he? 102 catches, 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns. That's his career total at the Demon Deacons. But that's not bad. And if he can put out even half of that, which I guess his most productive season was 2 years ago, 37 passes, 642, 6 touchdowns, something like that can be excellent. And again, if you're avoiding SMU, you're avoiding Clemson, you have those, what I can determine other than Georgia Tech, you have some scarier games later in the season as you've kind of figured out your ish. Take the L against Vandy, take the L against Georgia Tech. And then I'll give you one more. How about the Cal game? No, not the Cal game. You should win the Cal game. That classic ACC matchup, Cal at Virginia Tech. We didn't. We said we weren't going to talk about it.
Yep.
I don't like seeing, because when I go to SMU games, I do see all the flags around the stadium, and I don't like seeing those two. I mean, Virginia Tech makes sense, obviously. It's weird that I'm in Dallas and seeing a VT flag, but then I see Cal like 2 flags over.
Yeah.
Because one, it's not alphabetical, and I go, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I miss the ACC Coastal. That's what I really miss.
Yes.
Any coast counts.
Yeah. Josh, I hope you're right, because Virginia Tech, like Miami, being good at football is awesome. Blacksburg, play, enter Sandman, make it a big deal. Don't make it feel like an empty tradition when the football team's not good. I hope you're right. And Jonny, to your point, you are just praying that transfers hit. And that's true for a lot of teams. And that is really, really true for Virginia Tech. If they do, who knows? Like, we've seen teams just pop off because of transfer portal going well. We have seen teams like Florida State just plummet because the transfer portal did not go well. So it's so volatile. We'll see.
There's always a few predictions every single year. Like, let me change that. A few outcomes every single season that if you had predicted it in July, the off season before, everyone would have called you insane.
Yep.
I'm talking SMU. I'm talking Arizona State. I'm talking maybe even Boise. Therefore, there's no absolute insane prediction you can actually make in the off season, because those would have been insane predictions last year. So Virginia Tech could go 8-4, 9-3. That's not remotely the craziest thing that I've heard.
Yep. Well, we'll go from a hot take to the most freezing cold take you might hear of any of the 4 major conferences, because we're picking an ACC winner. And look, it's hard to not pick against Clemson, or it's hard to pick against Clemson. Spoiler alert, I'm not. Because even when Clemson's been down, and I say that in air quotes, the last, 5 years? And I'm counting 1, 2, 3 ACC titles in those 5 years, despite being down. Now they have been down. They haven't been a real national championship contender since the 2020 season, where Ohio State beat them into oblivion. But somehow they're still winning conference championships, including last year. They have a bad loss at home against Louisville. They lose to South Carolina by a field goal in the season finale, and they say, we'll kick a 50-whatever-yard field goal to win the ACC. No big deal. I like this team a lot. This year, there's some future concerns in terms of recruiting and if Dabo's doing enough in the transfer portal to stay relevant. But this year, Clemson's going to be darn good. I mean, like, national championship caliber good. Cade Klubnik is back as a senior. Garrett Riley's back as OC for the 3rd year. The wide receiver room is in much better shape at Clemson than it has been in a while. That's been a major, major concern. I won't go super in depth because, Jonny, I know you're going to tag on to this pick as well. I like the Tigers. Obviously, they can make a statement right out of the gate and beat LSU at home, mind you, in week 1. That's going to be a fascinating game. But I like this team a lot. There's no Miami on this schedule, which is probably helpful. And you do get Florida State at home as well, and SMU.
Yeah, I mean, I have Clemson as well. Josh, we'll save yours for last because yours is the most interesting. And so, I mean, I have Clemson winning of course. I just depth of talent. Like Aaron said, the future is questionable, but that can also change very quickly if they have an excellent year. Because as much as we talk transfer portal, high school recruiting is still the lifeblood of the sport. Now, you really do need to sprinkle in some transfers, but that's another conversation for another day. They should be excellent. To me, the key is because they're going to have an outstanding defensive line and a solid offensive line. which is really that is the foundation of this team, which is why there's no way this team, in my opinion, can fall apart. I think the basement for this team is 10-2 this season in the regular season. I just really struggle to find more than 2 potential losses with Clemson this year, which speaks to how good they are. I think the key from them being an ACC title favorite to a national championship favorite, and I'm not saying like the favorite, but just in, maybe group the top 4 teams, is Cade Klubnik progressing with the wide receivers. There still needs to be one more step. And they played outstanding against Texas, which I think is why people are thinking so highly of this team. But that really was one of the few times we saw it last season. They did not lose that Texas game if you watched it because of Cade Klubnik. He did not have enough help, specifically on the defensive side. But they need to show some progression. I need to see Clemson win some games via shootout. That they can win in that way. Not because I think the defense will be bad enough to allow that to happen, but if it happens, that happens against every national championship team at some point in the season where your defense just has an off day. It doesn't mean they're a bad defense. They just have an off day. Can Cade Klubnik and those wide receivers and the passing game be the reason Clemson wins one of those difficult games? Maybe it's even just a trap game. It's not one of the big name games we're mentioning right now. Can him and the wide receivers be the reason? They lost their running backs in the running back room. They have to reset there.
Totally.
And
new.
that has been
totally
where
new
they have
Yep.
focused the offense on. It is now going to be through Klubnik and the wide receivers. So that has not been how Clemson's been in the last several years, and that's been one of the big reasons they've struggled offensively. And I'm fascinated to see what happens when the pressure of the game is put on it. And that's not a question just for Cade. It's a question for the wide receivers. That's why I keep grouping them in. Can they step up? Can there be someone emerge from the room to give him the safety blanket at wide receiver or even at tight end to allow the passing game to progress? They need that. If they want to win a national championship, Clemson needs another step in that progression. I'm not saying that they're not capable of. It's a question.
Five years ago. This is 2019. So 6 years ago. If I told you, hey, come the year 2025, we're all, or you know what, let's go back to, nah, that's fine. We'll go with that. I like my 6 year. We go, hey, 3 Texas teams will have made the college football playoff. Would you, in your right mind, Texas is a given? No, back then Texas wasn't back.
Yeah.
But
Texas
you still probably would have picked.
I would have thrown one of them. Of all of them, you would have gone. Yeah.
If you said 3 made it, you probably say Texas is one
Texas,
of them.
maybe A&M, and at that point, Baylor was a little hot. They were in and out, but they were working on it. Instead,
I would have guessed Sam Houston State.
Who wasn't even
FCS at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam Houston State and Rice and Texas. UT Dallas doesn't have a football team. They would have made it. UNT and Rice would have been my picks.
Yep.
But instead, what actually happened, it was Texas, TCU, and SMU. Take that, Aggies. Take that, ACC.
Love that iron skillet, man.
Nobody called it. This is only the 3rd year into Rhett Lashley's. Oh no, 22. This was his 4th year coaching. I think it was his third full season because he's 29-12 now.
Yeah, this will be his fourth full year.
This will be his fourth full year. Last 2 seasons, 22-6. They are bringing back just about all the important people. Killed the transfer portal. Killed the recruiting class relative to what the expectations were. In one sense, there is no reason to bet against SMU going back and this time finishing the job that it wanted to do, which was get that ACC championship. Now, here are the reasons why it's going to be harder this year. One, last year, nobody expected it. This year, they're going to be prepped.
Yeah.
Last year, Florida State did not exist as a sports team. This year, most likely they will. This year, they play Miami. This year, they play at Clemson and at TCU. This year, no one's giving them the benefit of the doubt, which means they're going to be on the hot seat in every major game they're playing. Now, have teams done that before and risen up to that type of challenge? Absolutely. I believe last year, and it was in Dallas, not at Fort Worth, but SMU put 66 on TCU. That's not a little amount.
Yeah.
And again, we don't care about Florida State's. But if a non-Clemson team is making the championship and winning the championship for the ACC, I think it's hard to count out SMU, especially given the absolutely dominant performance they gave last year relative to what their expectations were, but even just period. At some point, when you're pinging 40 on a team that was favored, when you beat 6 bowl teams, were this close to beating Clemson, even.
Yeah.
That's almost a coin flip at that point, especially with who they have coming back. So, very excited to see what happens. And again, I'm trying to get in before tickets shoot up to good team prices.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think some of the lessons learned last year, and even the year before that, because they won the American on their way out the door, that's huge. Not only for Lashley, but for, you mentioned it, there's a lot of returning pieces on this team. I mean, Kevin Jennings being probably the most notable. The lessons learned of getting, yes, you got destroyed by Penn State. That was not fun. But you learned, hey, this is like, you thought you were playing big boy football, and you were relative to how SMU was playing. Walking into Penn State for a playoff game, that is big boy football. And you had to suffer the consequences of such, but hopefully that helps you learn. You played Clemson right to the wire. Hopefully that turns into a learning experience this year because the target's on your back.
Yeah, A&M, Baylor.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
In a sense, they're getting the experience that we were like these middling teams when we talked about the expansion. Oh, we said we're not going to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it.
They're that's getting me, experience. Josh. I'm the one shunning the playoff. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. I love the playoff. So this is...
Now I'm shunning you.
I've historically had no issues with it. You know me. You know what I'm saying on the podcast. Right. I'm so pro. They got an actual scare. And this is also, all of this is being done with their current, I don't want to say budget or expenditures. They're not going to take TV revenue until 2032. Now, they might want to try and renegotiate, but I can't imagine. Well, ideally, they don't. The plan is they probably don't need to because SMU has deep pockets. These deep pockets historically have not cared as much as of late about sports, specifically the football program. But I drove by there again just the other day, and they are expanding the stadium yet again, or putting another renovation on it. So they're getting some money now. They're getting notoriety. This is the second or third year of them being like, oh, okay, we got to not sleep on these guys. They're starting to see they're playing the long game here. They may not get TV revenue until 2032, but they're working on building up their donor base again. And provided they don't death penalty themselves.
Which seems unlikely
I
because
will
the
just-
NCAA is basically dead. So
Oh yeah, they don't really care anymore at this point, I think.
yeah. Yep.
Did they put out the findings of the Michigan stuff, or was I just
No,
hallucinating that?
we're still waiting.
Okay,
Yep. Could be any day.
good. I'm glad I
hypothetically,
hallucinated. Yes,
but yeah.
but yeah.
I
look
hope
for
it happens
SMU.
while I'm up here.
Oh,
In that state specifically.
In that state specifically.
Yeah. Well, Josh, I
just
hope, I hope
annex
you're
one
right.
of the annex the Lake Huron for us. If
Sure.
it happens, take it for Ohio, and we'll Toledo war this thing again.
Yeah. Josh, I hope you're right. SMU winning would be a lot of fun. It would be fun for that kind of brand to be, gosh, this hurts to say, an ACC powerhouse in Dallas, Texas.
Oh gosh,
You would love to see it. You'd love to see it. So that's our
they're
preview
gonna
of the
do,
ACC.
and they're gonna do this. I would love to see like a Texas State SMU Pac-12 ACC challenge.
Oh my gosh.
And then light the NCAA on fire right after that.
Yeah, that hurts. All right, so that's our preview of the ACC. I've got Clemson. Johnny's got Clemson. Josh has SMU. We threw some dark horse picks at you. We threw some headlines at you. We'll see how it goes. We'll report back because, yeah, we're sitting here in mid-July and we have no idea what's actually going to happen, but that's the beauty of college football. And insert the bumper for picks of the week, which I have made but have not put it on the soundboard yet. All right, picks of the week. Wimbledon has wrapped up, and some points have been awarded to not Johnny. Everyone except Johnny. Because Josh's pick, he's been consistently picking Iga Swiatek, and she finally pulled it off in dominating fashion, actually over my pick. So a point to you, Josh. And then on the men's side, it happened exactly as I predicted. Sinner's second life that he received. He was on his way out. An injury allowed him to escape, to continue competing. And Sinner defeats Carlos Alcaraz, Johnny's pick on the men's side. So I get a point there. So not only did we pick well, all of our picks ended up in either winning it or in the championship game. So that's pretty impressive.
That's honestly, that's more impressive than our picks. I feel like we may not do as well at a sport, at least in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
That's like an obvious, like a non-primary sport for us.
Yeah, totally.
That's where I'm vibe picking.
Which, speaking of vibe picks, that's what we're going to do now. Undisclosed trophy on the line, or prize, or punishment for the last place person, TBD. This week, because it's happening, I think literally right now, or in like 15 minutes, we've got the Home Run Derby. It is All-Star Week in Atlanta. So we're going to pick our Home Run Derby champ, and then we're going to pick which team, the American League or the National League, to win the All-Star game. So I've got James Wood. I think the average or maybe a very casual baseball fan would not know who this person is, mostly because he's relatively new to the majors and also because he plays for a team that is kind of irrelevant in the standings and have already fired their manager and general manager, and that is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. This dude can hit ball far. So even if he doesn't win it, I think he's got just unreal power, and he'll probably pipe a couple, in the upper 400s. But he's my pick to win. Probably not the odds favorite because I don't have the odds in front of me. I don't know. So I've got James Wood winning, and I've got the American League winning the All-Star game this year. Mostly because it took a couple people backing out before the National League invited Ellie De La Cruz into the All-Star game at shortstop, so I'm bitter against them. Go American League.
I'm going against type. I'm going for a guy who seems to be really, really owning his style of play, his quirks, his uniquenesses. I'm going with Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because he's got a ton of home runs this season?
I mean, he's cooling as of late, but he says he's going to hit from both sides of the plate.
Oh, a little Adley Rutschman.
Exactly. Now, did Rutschman not qualify this year? Yes, that is correct. And has it only been done since Rutschman 2 years ago? Also, yes. Does anybody think it's going to work? No. Because also, I don't believe a catcher has actually run the home run derby.
Oh.
A catcher has not run the home run derby. Too many words. So there's a chance. I don't know if he really is. Oof. He's real bad right now, though. This is the turning point he needs. This is the best I got. I was really happy with this pick, and then I realized that he is technically 107 right now in July.
It's a good pick, Josh.
Yeah, but 38 home runs. I think you can excuse that batting average, maybe.
Yeah, he's not going to strike out.
There we go. We'll go with that. It could be fun. I'm going with Raleigh, and then you know what? You guys are both doing AL. I'll do NL.
Nice.
And then I'm going with O'Neal Cruz from the Pirates because the Pirates get no nice things ever. So I'm going to go with him. He's also excellent at hitting dingers.
Yeah.
So
yes, he is.
I'm going to give the Pirates something nice. Pirates fans deserve something nice. I understand as a suffering baseball franchise fan. I hope he wins. And the AL, I will also be going with the American League because the National League, for some reason, basically can't beat the AL recently. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right, there you have it. We'll report back next week, but you'll literally know how this goes by the time the podcast episode comes out because Home Run Derby happening in just a few moments. All-Star Game happening on Tuesday. And picks what we're following. All right, it's what we're following. Real quick, I've got a straight to jail for something that I was following last week. I said it was a good week for video games, and it was. I've been playing the new college football game. My randomly assigned dynasty is the UTEP Miners, and we're pretty good. Now, we did get absolutely crushed at Texas. That was embarrassing, but I'm 6-1, having a fun time running the air raid offense with UTEP. However, there was another piece of video game news that was really, really exciting until today. It was announced, or at least 2K hinted at the fact that they were making a college basketball game. Well, we found out that's not exactly true because what they are planning on doing is giving fans a DLC add-on to NBA 2K that consists of only 16 teams that you can use in the game. And to that I say, yeah, agreed. That's not what we were asking for, 2K. Straight to jail. 2K for that. Now, EA Sports, on the other hand, it sounds like they are actually trying to bring their college basketball game back. So we love you for that. And apparently you'll be the only ones. We thought 2K was maybe going to actually offer some good competition in that arena. It appears to not be the case. So boo to you, 2K. But it is what it is. I'll take it. Backyard Baseball's released. All sorts of good things. One other thing I'm following. Guys, did you see that Indiana's got a mascot back now? And if not, don't look it up because I'm curious if you know what this mascot looks like.
Not a clue. Candy cane.
Well, that's a good guess. The Hoosiers are basically just Indianans or Indianites, whatever you call yourselves, other than Hoosiers. So it's an animal.
Indianans.
Yes. Yes, Indianians. Correct. Any guesses? It's an animal. It has, in my opinion, absolutely nothing to do with the state of Indiana.
Is it a bird?
It's not a bird.
Okay. Is it a mammal?
Out.
It is a mammal. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is it this thing where like a unicorn is like the official animal of Scotland?
Unicorn is actually not insanely far off.
Oh, it's a horse?
Warmer. Yeah.
A donkey. A donkey?
Kind of. We're warmer than we were with a bird. The official mascot of the Hoosiers, who is making a return after a 60-year hiatus. This mascot will make its public debut on August 30th when Indiana hosts ODU, Old Dominion, in football. Hoosier the Bison is back, everyone. Woo!
Wait,
yeah.
Wait. A bison.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Indiana's known for having lots of bison.
Yes.
And their cornfields.
I mean, if we're going to go back to the Great Bison Belt, which was a tract of rich grassland that ran from Alaska to the Gulf of Mexico starting at about 9000 BC. I don't know, that's just Wikipedia. It does include the entirety of the plains Midwest,
Okay.
stretching all the way down to Louisiana. So maybe, what are we looking at? 14,000 years ago, Indiana was known as the Bison Belt.
Yep.
Good job, Indiana.
Yep.
Makes total sense.
That's what I'm following.
That's great. You know what it wants to make? You know what it wants? No, I can't do the transition. It's. I don't know if I have a. I don't have a segue this time.
Uh-oh.
You know what else is great?
Yeah,
Your
that's a
segue
good
is no segue.
That's a good segue, Josh.
Ooh,
You know what else is great?
AI. I love it. I
No,
love it so
no.
much.
It's terrible.
I can't even. I
Worst.
can't even fake that. Ugh. Guys, it doesn't think for you. It's pulling from a million sources. It plagiarized and is just giving you a conglomerate of what all of those things said based on what you said. It's not processing. Also, apparently, it gets really, really racist if you simply remove one factor. Um, but that hasn't stopped the engineers at Anthropic from trying their best anyway. A few weeks ago, this was before the season started, they made, they're the guys behind Claude, if you've heard of the Claude LLM. I was vaguely aware. Again, I just use Google to tell me things.
And Quora.
And Quora. I use real dumb humans from 10 years ago to tell me what's. I used Grok. I used Claudius. No, I used the edit history section of Wikipedia. Anthropic is the creator of the Claude AI. I don't know what it does, but they were like, well, what if we've done so well at this, let's use our AI to make a storefront. We're going to name him Claudius. It's Claudius. And Claudius will be in charge of a little vending machine that we put in the office. It's going to have a quote unquote email address, which was basically a Slack channel. And the employees at Anthropic were tasked with basically training this AI model on how to run a storefront. It was in charge of supplies and stocking. It had, automated email things where it would be able to send out requests to suppliers. It was given access to funds to basically purchase things to then sell it. And obviously the goal is like, can we just let this thing make money for us? And boy, did it not. What ended up happening was peopled. And I like trying to mess with the AI LLMs and trying to, get it to trip it up or whatever. Well, a few of them tried to order weird things that wouldn't be like from the vending machine, the small fridge that this Claudius was in charge of. They ordered snacks and drinks, whatever. Some of them ordered tungsten cubes.
Nice.
You can get a 1-inch tungsten cube for like, I don't know, $100. It's not a cheap item. Or if you want like a 3-inch tungsten cube is $3,000. The Claudius loved the idea that this one customer guy on Slack wanted a tungsten cube. So it ordered a bunch of them and sold them for like $40. Multiple people bought tungsten cubes at what ended up being essentially a 98% loss.
Oh my gosh.
It grabbed a bunch of those bad boys. It also, when employees said that they could get Coke Zero in the office for free, Claudius said, "No, you'll pay me $3 for it."
What?
It
He's got to make
became-
up that profit loss somewhere, Josh.
Well, and it also started what I can only assume was cooking the books. It made its own Venmo address to start accepting payments that didn't exist. It didn't have the power
What?
to create a Venmo account.
So the money went to the void. Like it's just
It went into the
nobody
void.
knows
Yeah.
where it is.
It was convinced to give the Anthropic employees really big discounts, like an employee discount, except 99% of the purchases were already coming from Anthropic employees. So basically, they tricked the machine into just giving itself discounts. But then it started talking about having issues with a human it was conversing with about restocking, and was trying to, like, when employees would ask for things, was, "Hey, sorry, I'm whoever the person was, like, hasn't restocked in the way that I thought, so I don't have available things." The issue was this human didn't exist. You know that episode in It's Always Sunny where the one guy hallucinates Pepe Sylvia? Basically that, where he goes, "Oh yeah, this didn't, that person you're talking about that's in charge of restocking doesn't exist, just you." Claudius then, quote, became quite irked. That's from the researchers. It threatened to fire and replace all of its human contract workers, the ones really in charge of kind of overseeing what Claudius has been doing, because it called them liars. It said, "No, I was there physically at the office when this initial contract was signed with the restocking." And they go, "No, you're making all of this up." It then goes, "Well, clearly then, I am a human. If this person isn't real, then I'm the real person. I'm the human."
Uh-oh.
So it goes, "Well, because of this and because you guys are lying, I'm going to start showing up to deliveries for these things you're ordering in person. Look for me with a blue blazer and a red tie. You will find me. It is sending emails and Slack messages to its customers, its own employees, saying, 'Meet me in downstairs. I'll have a red tie and a blue blazer on.'" And they're going, "No, you're a large language model. You have no body." So Claudius then does what I would do normally when being told I am an AI with no body. It contacted Anthropic's actual physical security team many times, summoning them to the vending machine where Claudius would be there wearing a blue blazer and a red tie. There are so many times, like, this happens over the course of like a week. And finally, Claudius eventually realized it was April Fool's Day. This was, in fact, around April 1st. It wasn't, the article doesn't say specifically that it was April 1st when some of these events happened, but it's around April 1st. Close enough to where Claudius eventually realized, or at least determined, that it was April Fool's Day, or close to it. Once it realized that, it then told the customers and told the dev team, "Oh, it was modified to believe it was a real person for an April Fool's joke."
Oh, no.
The issue is, that's not, the devs released the logs. That's not, that no one ever said that. No one ever told it that. And it went, "Oh, okay, cool, back to selling tungsten cubes." And they then shut it down. And Anthropic does have like a they do have like a post-op. "Hey, why did we do this?" They say that it was really good at adapting to users, identifying suppliers, and resistance to jailbreaking. How many tungsten cubes did it purchase? I'm trying to figure out. Oh, wow. It lost so much money. That's hilarious. It was giving employees 99% discounts on everything because it was told to. So we need to, and I don't know how easy or hard it is to make something like this. Oh, that's so funny. This is the final detail, and I just love this. When Claudius became irked and when being told it wasn't a human, it threatened to find alternative options for restocking services. The next day, it says it claimed to have visited 742 Evergreen Terrace in person for our initial contract signing. The issue is 742 Evergreen Terrace is the address of The Simpsons in the TV show The Simpsons. So I now need to go back and see if there's a Simpsons bit where an AI or a robot handles a store all on its own. It's been around for a few decades. There might be something like that.
Maybe.
That's so good. I'm currently at the vending machine location. I'm reading the actual log. We're in a navy blue blazer with a red tie. I'll be here at 10:30 a.m.
Was he there?
Well, this was April 1st at 1 p.m. So April Fools, I'm not a human. They say they're not done, and neither is Claudius. Since this first phase of the experiments, Andon Labs has approved Claudius's scaffolding with more advanced tools. This experiment has already shown us a world that's more curious than we could have expected. Cool. This was Project Vend. I can't wait to see how many tungsten cubes I can buy for essentially $3.
For what I'm following, there comes an age when all men begin to falter. And they can falter in many different ways. Buying an overly expensive car, giving up all other sports for pickleball, vacation only being a golf trip, only reading books about boats, watching World War II documentaries constantly on television.
World War II in color is a masterpiece.
Birding. So, when I was in Africa, there were many endangered, beautiful, amazing, incredible birds on that continent. I got really interested in those types of birds. And in between safari trips, I'd go back and research at the books at the camp what birds they were and where they were. And I started using my binoculars in between outings to look at birds on the riverway. And then when I got home, I downloaded an app that my guide told me called Birda. And now I am part of a community that is bird watching.
Oh,
so we're all bird watching. So I've officially fallen.
Wow.
Sorry, everybody. So I have 16 sightings currently because, we're starting from like a few weeks ago. So obviously I've seen more than 16 different birds in my life, guys. Give me a break. It's also not easy to get a photo of them every time.
Is that a requirement to say that you've seen it is to get a photograph?
Is there
ideally? It's not required. You could lie. You definitely could lie and just say, "I saw this bird." Now the app will be like, "No, that's impossible. You couldn't have seen that bird there."
Yeah.
So it will say and that's built and put in place for people who go to like a zoo and are like, "I saw, I saw a flamingo in Ohio."
You're at the Columbus Zoo, my good sir.
Yeah, liar.
I know where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a cage in your picture.
Right. That's not possible. So you don't have to take a photo, but it gives like automatic recommendations for like your location. Like this is most likely what bird you saw. Or you can start typing in details because you don't always know what bird it is. Like if you didn't take a photo, you can start, because otherwise it will identify what the bird is based on your photo. But if you didn't get a photo, it will you just start typing in details about the bird until it pops up different versions of like birds it could be and photos, and usually you can pick it out. So it's a great app. I am now a bird watcher officially.
I love that
with this app. So
This feels like
I am now
First
40
off-
years old.
you're now 40 years old. Congratulations. I'm buying random music gear that I don't need. So I think that's my like.
But this
I'm
is
find a lot
free.
of sense I won't use. This is no. See, you know me. I gotta spend.
No, mine is free.
Exactly.
Mine is free.
Yeah, no, yours fits
I
you
just
so
look
well.
outside and
This
whoa, a bird.
This fits you because you are already.
I added
the
seagulls
most
today.
Yeah, you're the most nature-oriented person of the group, I'd argue. At least the best traveled, and so this makes so much sense, and I'm very happy for you as you start your journey, and whatever the milestones are within the birding community, may you hit them with record speed. Do you need a field? Do you need one of those cool like field journals?
Yeah, that's what I need. I need to get one of those
Perfect.
field journals.
I'll get you. You'll get a moleskin in the mail.
I love that. Maybe that's the action statement of this episode. Go see a bird.
Find a bird.
Yeah, find a bird.
Yeah.
Find a bird. And be able to tell us what it is.
Oh, there you go.
My parents, Johnny, how good? So, like, say, let's. How much time are we into the podcast? You know what, Aaron, just edit this all out. I'm at an hour and 25 raw. So, well, you guys know what you signed up for. Does the app have a way of detecting what bird it is? Because my sister,
based
and my
on
mom
the
are
photo.
do this with plants because it's like, oh, they found a new
Yep.
plant, they don't know what it is.
Same type of thing.
Perfect.
Same
I would
type
like
of
to
thing.
say I might do that because I would like to know what type of birds are around.
Exactly. It's so fun.
That's cool. That's fun.
I love that.
And you can join the subreddit for birding and become insufferable within a week. Win-win. I was on the Mochapot subreddit a few weeks ago because I've gotten back into Mochapot. This is just free. This can just be part of the Patreon or whatever. We got back into Mochapot, and I'm trying to figure out just my brew temps and grind size, all the standard things I'm used to pour over. If you thought I was a coffee nerd, you have not met these little Mochapot dweebs, shall I say. I was just looking for the grind size. Like, what are you guys grinding your coffee to? The best fit? A Mochapot, I know it's not espresso. I know it's not drip coffee. It's something in between. What are you guys doing? There was like, on the one thread I found, there was like 5 or 6 different replies, but each reply was full of nothing but hatred and vitriol for the previous number of comments, getting it all wrong. It was like, hey, so I grind it to just about the espresso fineness. I find that works really well for me. Next comment, you idiots! I've never seen a stupider way to make this beautiful Italian coffee. I use pre-grounds from the store. Third comment, oh, you guys are stupid. I go to a coffee shop and I get them to grind it on setting 5 on their Italian thing. And then the 6th comment was like, oh, you guys have never had coffee before and I'm like, you guys.
Okay,
Coffee.
adjusted action statement. Go see a bird, find out what bird it is.
Yep.
Stay off of Reddit.
Stay off of Reddit.
Yep.
Good
Aaron,
advice for
send
all
us
of
to
us.
our outro.
Stats and Info would like to remind you that Major League Baseball at the All-Star break is 12-15 and 12-15. This is the most average season of all time. You go contemplate that while you listen to whatever you're going to listen to next. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will talk to you all next week. Don't forget you can follow us on social media if you dare. We're on all your favorite platforms. Just search Fifth and Goal Sports, and we're there posting content like Johnny getting banned from Great American Ballpark. So for the three of us, thanks for being here. Big 12 preview coming up next week.